Welcome, friends. Welcome back to the kitchen. Welcome back to Sunday morning and the old cookbook show. Today we're going to do a recipe out of this cookbook from 1938 or 1939. 1938, the Town Crier Recipe Book. 300 lucky, low-cost, prize-winning recipes. Price, 50 cents. And this is from the Town Crier Flour Company, the Midland Flour Milling Company, Kansas City, Missouri. This was sent in by a viewer. Thank you very much for this book. This is a book that we are going to see over and over and over on the Sunday morning old cookbook show. It is chock-a-block with some incredible sounding recipes. Both from the fact that I think they taste really great and from the aspect of they're a little bit wacky and let's try something new. But today we're going to stick to something that seems fairly straightforward, and it's called pineapple squares. So, tells me to first sift the flour, baking powder, sugar, and salt. I'm not much on sifting. I'm supposed to sift these together. That's to make sure that they come together really smoothly. I have the advantage of this machine, so I'm not going to sift them. I'm just going to put them all into the machine, and we'll give it a whiz before we move on to the next step. And you know the Townsends, if they had electricity in their cabin and access to this machine, they would definitely be using this. Time saving. Works really great. The next part of the recipe, it tells me that I'm supposed to cut in the shortening. Cutting in the shortening is why I'm using the food processor rather than the stand mixer. So butter is a form of shortening. You could use lard. You could pick pork lard. You could use beef tallow. You could use vegetable shortening for sure. I really like butter, so I'm going to use that. And the action of the knives will cut this together rather than blending it together. And that's what they're asking for. So if I was going to do this by hand, I would have 2 forks, 2 knives, or a pastry knife, or just rub it together with my hands. Okay. Just pulse that. Okay, so now what we've got is shortening and flour, butter and flour, mixed together pretty much as one without becoming a paste. I don't know that it really matters though, because it's going to become a paste in the next step. So I'm supposed to, let's get a measuring cup and some milk. I'm supposed to mix in milk, egg, and crushed pineapple. So, half a cup of milk. And I'm going to mix the egg in here. And we'll give that a whisk. Now, we do a lot of recipes on this show from community cookbooks and church cookbooks going way back. I have to tell you, I really like these advertising cookbooks from the 1930s, 1940s, because first of all, the recipes are practical. You get into the advertising cookbooks in the 1950s and 1960s, and a lot of the recipes aren't very practical at all. They're, you start getting into some of those Jell-O salads and how to get Miracle Whip into everything, and I'm just not a fan. Another reason I really like these books is that the companies that were making these in the 1930s, they wanted to put their product in the best light possible. They didn't want their product to be seen as a failure because you messed up the recipe, which is easy enough to do. So the recipes are well thought out. They're laid out very clearly. The instructions are incredibly clear. They've taken the time to make the recipes really work. They've tested them. That's the theory. And in practice, most of these cookbooks that I find from this time period that are advertising driven, the recipes are very good. Much better than the recipes in the church cookbooks or the community cookbooks. That's just my opinion. Take from that what you will. So, I've got the egg and the milk mixed together. I've got the crushed pineapple here ready to go. I'm supposed to mix these into the flour all at once. So milk and egg goes in first, and we'll give that a bit of a stir to get it going. Okay, next is the pineapple. Now it says I need a cup of crushed pineapple. American Cookbook, 1 cup is 240 milliliters. This can is 540 milliliters, so just a little less than half a cup. Then half a can makes 1 American cup. So get that in there. I think this, that. And we'll mix that in. Okay, now I've got a 9x9 greased with a paper sling in it. It says a greased pan about 9x9 inches. So if you've got an 8x8, that would work. If you've got a 10x10, that would probably work as well. They've given you a little bit of leeway there. You don't have to use a 9x9, but they suggest. So in that goes. Okay, so I'm just going to spread that into the corners. Now, on top of the cake, I'm supposed to put a mixture of sugar and chopped almonds. And I've just got them mixed together in a bowl here. There's actually more sugar in this topping than I put in the cake, though most of the sweetness in the cake is going to come from the crushed pineapple. So I don't think that it really matters that there isn't much sugar in there. So we'll spread that on top. And there's quite a bit here, a lot, in fact, for this size of a cake. Make sure we get that everywhere. Okay, and the oven's preheated to 425.
Hey, Glen.
Hey, Jules.
Hey, friends.
Ooh,
That's a nice looking cake.
It is a nice looking cake.
Do you want to cut it again and
yeah,
I'll snack it with you?
Cut it in half.
Okay, thank you.
There we go.
Very good. I like how you cut it that way because we both really like the edges.
Gotta get the corner in. So this is it's called pineapple squares. Now, we're not eating it correctly. Cut in squares and serve hot with butter.
I can see how you hot with butter because the butter would bring out that. You know, butter just goes well with bread. It's a very bready flavored. It's not super pineapple-y, actually.
No, it's not. It's very moist. There's more flavor from the almonds on top than from the pineapple. The pineapple really is lost in the middle. But it's moist. It's really moist. So I'd probably cut back on the... I would cut back on the almonds. When I was putting them on, I thought, that's a lot of almonds.
It is a lot of almonds. Now, hold on. Dun, dun, dun. I see peanut butter bread. We've done that one in the past. Is this a new recipe then? So many places that it shows up.
It really does show up in that Depression era. So that's good.
Yeah, I was going to cut another piece, but I really shouldn't.
No, it is lacking a little bit of pineapple flavor. Oh, any pineapple flavor.
Yeah, which is kind of weird.
Yeah.
I wonder if it had chunks or if you added some candied pineapple or something in it to
That would be really
kind of
good.
fill
Yes.
in that.
Candied pineapple chunks, because you don't want to add any more moisture.
No,
This
that's...
cake does not need any more moisture. But yes, candied pineapple chunks
There we go.
would be a great idea. Okay, so make this cake, cut back on the almonds, candied pineapple chunks, and if you don't like almonds, I don't know, pecans, walnuts, whatever you like.
Just
Peanuts.
a sugar? Brown
Yeah.
sugar? Just a sugar?
Or just put the sugar on top, exactly. Any streusel topping. Oh. Okay, so lots of ideas to make this again. Thanks for stopping by. See you again soon.